Welcome to our YouTube channel One Love Inspirational TV. We thank you so much for your support and your concerns towards our channel. Today's video covers the part where there are 5 kinds of people you should never be in your life. We are going to show you the end results of these 5 kinds of people through real life stories to get you out of these people. Keep watching this video to the end to get inspired and motivated.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between the mountains, there lived a young man named Leo. Leo was known far and wide for his remarkable skills in archery. He could hit a bullseye from 100 paces away with his eyes closed. His prowess with the bow and arrow was unmatched, and he won every competition he entered. However, with his exceptional talent, Leo began to grow arrogant. He strutted through the village with his chest puffed out, boasting about his victories and belittling anyone who dared to challenge him. His arrogance knew no bounds, and soon he became isolated from his fellow villagers who grew tired of his prideful ways. One day, a traveling sage came to the village and heard of Leo's arrogance. The sage approached Leo and challenged him to a friendly archery competition. Leo, full of himself, accepted the challenge without a second thought. The competition began, and the sage effortlessly hit target after target with grace and humility. Leo, on the other hand, was boastful and sloppy in his shots. Despite his earlier confidence, Leo found himself falling behind. As the competition drew to a close, Leo realized the error of his ways. He saw that his arrogance had clouded his judgment and skill. In the end, the sage emerged as the victor, proving that true talent is not measured by pride, but by humility and respect for others. From that day on, Leo humbled himself and apologized to the villagers for his arrogant behavior. He pledged to use his skills for the betterment of the community and to never let his ego get the best of him again. And so, Leo learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility and respect. The village welcomed him back with open arms, and he went on to become not only a great archer but also a beloved member of the community, known for his kindness and humility. Arrogance is like a wall separates you from others. It blinds you to own limitations and prevents you from growing and learning. It's time to break down that wall and step into the light of humility and self-awareness. Instead of being arrogant, be confident. Confidence comes from a place of self-assurance and belief in your abilities. It doesn't put others down but lifts them up. It's about knowing your worth without belittling others. Remember, arrogance is a shield for insecurity. When you let go of the need to prove yourself to others, you'll find true strength and vulnerability. Embrace your imperfections and use them as stepping stones to personal growth. Stay humble, stay hungry for knowledge, and stay open to learning from others. Be willing to admit when you're wrong and be gracious in victory. Let your actions speak louder than your words. As you navigate through life, always remember that humility is not a sign of weakness but a mark of true strength. Embrace it, embody it, and watch how it transforms not only you but also those around you. Be humble, be kind, and watch the world open up to you in ways you never thought possible.
Once upon a time in the kingdom of Elysium, there lived a young girl named Alara. Alara was known far and wide for her kindness and compassion. She spent her days helping those in need, whether it be the elderly widow who needed help with her garden or the children who needed a friend to play with. One day, a great injustice occurred in the kingdom. The royal magistrate, who was supposed to ensure fairness and justice for all, was found to be corrupt. He used his power to unfairly accuse innocent people of crimes they did not commit, simply to line his pockets with gold. Alara could not stand by and watch as the people of Elysium suffered under the magistrate's tyranny. She decided to take matters into her own hands and seek out the truth. She gathered evidence and witnesses to prove the innocence of those wrongly accused. With unwavering determination and bravery, Alara confronted the corrupt magistrate in front of the king and his court. She presented her evidence and spoke passionately about the importance of justice and fairness for all people, regardless of their station in life. The king, moved by Alara's words and undeniable evidence, banished the corrupt magistrate from the kingdom and appointed Alara as the new royal magistrate. From that day forward, Alara ensured that justice was served in Elysium, and the people lived in peace and harmony once more. And so, the story of Alara and the battle against injustice spread throughout the land, inspiring others to stand up for what is right and just. Alara's legacy of fairness and compassion lived on, reminding all who heard her tale that with courage and integrity, even the greatest injustices can be overcome. Let me tell you something about injustice. In this world, there are countless acts of unfairness and inequality happening every single day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed or helpless in the face of such daunting challenges, but I urge you not to give in to despair. Instead, I want you to rise up with renewed determination and resolve to make a difference. Injustice may seem insurmountable, but remember that every great movement for change started with just one person who refused to accept the status quo. So, be that person. Be the voice for the voiceless, the hope for the hopeless, and the light in the darkness. Take action. Stand up for what is right, even when it's hard. Speak out against injustice, even when it's unpopular. Advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves, even when it's inconvenient. Because in the end, it is our actions that define us, not our words. Remember, the power to create a more just and equitable world lies within each and every one of us. So, don't wait for someone else to step up. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Your actions matter, your voice matters, and your commitment to justice matters. Together, we can create a world where fairness and equality reign supreme. So let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. The time for justice is now. Once upon a time, in the peaceful kingdom of Tranquilonia, there lived a powerful wizard named Malacha. Malacha was known far and wide for his incredible magical abilities and his kind heart. However, Malacha harbored a deep-seated hatred towards the neighboring kingdom of Darkoria, ruled by the cruel and tyrannical King Vortigern. King Vortigern had always been envious of Malacha's power and popularity among the people of Tranquilonia. He would often send his soldiers to harass and intimidate the citizens of Tranquilonia, hoping to provoke Malacha into a confrontation. However, Malacha remained calm and composed, refusing to stoop to Vortigern's level. One fateful day, King Vortigern launched a full-scale attack on Tranquilonia, burning villages and destroying homes in his quest for power. Malacha, driven by his hatred towards the wicked king, unleashed his full magical might upon the invaders. Fireballs rained from the sky, and gusts of wind swept through the battlefield, scattering Vortigern's forces. As the dust settled, Malacha stood victorious, his eyes burning with the fiery intensity. However, in the midst of his triumph, he realized the true cost of his hatred. The once vibrant kingdom of Tranquilonia lay in ruins, its people displaced and suffering. Filled with remorse, Malacha sought out King Vortigern to put an end to the cycle of hatred and violence. In a surprising turn of events, King Vortigern, moved by Malacha's display of compassion, agreed to a truce and offered to help rebuild Tranquilonia. And so, through the power of forgiveness and understanding, the kingdoms of Tranquilonia and Darkoria put aside their differences and worked together to create a better, more harmonious world for all. Malacha learned that true strength does not lie in vengeance, but in love and compassion for one's fellow beings. And thus, peace and prosperity reigned once more in the land. Alright, let's tackle the issue of hatred head-on. Hate is a heavy burden to carry. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When we hold on to hatred, we are allowing negative energy to take up space in our hearts and minds. But remember this, you are not defined by the actions of others. Instead of letting hatred consume you, choose to rise above it. Choose love. Choose understanding. Choose forgiveness. It takes strength and courage to let go of hatred, but I believe in your ability to do so. When you release the grip of hatred, you free yourself to live a more fulfilling life. You open yourself up to love, joy, and inner peace. You empower yourself to focus on your own growth and happiness. So today, I encourage you to let go of the chains of hatred. Replace it with kindness, empathy, and compassion. Choose to see the good in others, even when it's difficult. And most importantly, choose to love yourself enough to move forward without the weight of hatred holding you back. You deserve a life filled with positivity and love. You have the power within you to make that choice. Once upon a time, in the bustling village of Fairhaven, there lived a wealthy merchant named Bartholomew. He was known far and wide for his lavish lifestyle and his grandiose displays of wealth. Bartholomew had a reputation for being generous and kind to those in need, often donating generously to the local orphanage and sponsoring community events. However, beneath his charitable facade, Bartholomew harbored a deep-seated hatred towards those less fortunate than him. One day, a poor widow named Eliza arrived in Fairhaven with her young son, Marco. They were in desperate need of shelter and food, as they had been traveling for days with little to sustain them. Eliza went to Bartholomew's mansion, hoping to seek help from the wealthy merchant. However, when she knocked on his door and pleaded for assistance, Bartholomew turned her away with disdain, scoffing at her ragged appearance and dismissing her as unworthy of his charity. Feeling a sense of righteous indignation, Eliza decided to confront Bartholomew in front of the townspeople, hoping to expose his hypocrisy. As she spoke of his callousness and indifference to the suffering of others, the villagers began to murmur amongst themselves, shocked by Bartholomew's true nature. Feeling the weight of their judgment, Bartholomew's facade of benevolence crumbled, revealing the darkness that lurked within his heart. In the days that followed, Bartholomew was shunned by the villagers, his once gilded reputation tarnished by the revelation of his hypocrisy. Unable to bear the shame of his actions, he fled Fairhaven under the cover of night, leaving behind his wealth and prestige. Eliza and Marco, on the other hand, found kindness and compassion in the hearts of the townspeople, who welcomed them with open arms and provided them with the support they so desperately needed. And so, the story of Bartholomew's hypocrisy served as a cautionary tale for the villagers of Fairhaven, reminding them of the dangers of arrogance and hatred, and the importance of treating others with kindness and empathy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the topic of hypocrisy. We all know that hypocrisy is like a poison that eats away at our integrity and authenticity. It's easy to point fingers at others and criticize their actions, but it takes courage to look inwards and acknowledge our own inconsistencies. Today, I want to challenge you to break free from the chains of hypocrisy. Let's strive to be the best versions of ourselves, both in public and in private. Let's align our words with our actions, and let our integrity shine brightly for all to see. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. None of us are perfect. What's important is that we learn from our missteps and strive to do better each day. Let's be the change we wish to see in the world, starting with ourselves. So, I urge you to embrace authenticity, practice what you preach, and lead by example. Let's build a world where honesty and integrity are valued above all else. Together, we can rise above hypocrisy and create a brighter future for ourselves and those around us. Believe in your ability to be genuine, stay true to yourself, and inspire others to do the same. Let's break the cycle of hypocrisy and pave the way for a more genuine, compassionate, and harmonious world. The power lies within you. Go out there and be the change you wish to see. You've got this. Once upon a time in a quaint little village nestled between rolling hills and babbling brooks, there lived a man named Tobias. Tobias was known far and wide for his insatiable greed. He would hoard food, coins, and treasures, never willing to share with anyone. One day, a mysterious stranger arrived in the village, bearing a magical lantern that glowed with an enchanting light. The stranger announced that whoever could prove themselves the most generous and selfless would be granted a wish by the lantern. The villagers were abuzz with excitement, each eager to show their kindness and compassion. However, Tobias scoffed at the idea. He believed that his wealth and possessions were all that mattered in life. As days turned into weeks, the villagers worked tirelessly to help one another, sharing their food, time, and love. Tobias, on the other hand, continued to hoard his treasures, unwilling to change his greedy ways. One night, as the full moon shone brightly over the village, the stranger held a grand ceremony to determine the most deserving recipient of the magical lantern's wish. Villagers lined up, each sharing their stories of kindness and selflessness. When it was Tobias's turn, he stood proudly before the stranger, boasting of his wealth and possessions. But the stranger simply shook their head and passed him by, unimpressed by his material wealth. Finally, the lantern's light settled on a young girl named Lily, who had spent her days caring for the sick and elderly, always putting others before herself. With a smile, the stranger granted Lily her wish, and she wished for happiness and prosperity for the entire village. As Lily's wish came true, the villagers rejoiced, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. And as for Tobias, he finally realized that true wealth came not from hoarding possessions, but from sharing kindness and love with others. And so, from that day on, Tobias's heart softened, and he learned the true meaning of generosity. The village thrived, bathed in the warm glow of the magical lantern, reminding all who passed through of the power of selflessness and compassion. And they all lived happily ever after. Alright, listen up everyone. We need to talk about greed, and it can hold us back from reaching our full potential. Greed is like a weight pulling you down, preventing you from soaring to new heights. It's a trap that can leave you feeling empty and unfulfilled. But here's the good news, you have the power to break free from the chains of greed. You have the ability to choose a more fulfilling path, one filled with generosity and abundance. When you let go of greed, you make room for gratitude, compassion, and meaningful connections with others. So, I challenge you today to look deep within yourself and identify any areas where greed may be holding you back. Work on cultivating a mindset of abundance and sharing your blessings with others. Trust me, the more you give, the more you will receive in ways you never imagined. Let's strive to be a beacon of light in the world, radiating kindness and generosity wherever we go. Together, we can overcome greed and create a more compassionate and fulfilling world for ourselves and those around us. Believe in the power of generosity, and watch as it transforms your life in ways you never thought possible. Go out there and make a positive impact today. Thank you for watching till the end of this video. Hope you learned something from this video. Let us know if you want more of this video in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share.